I want to talk about the Kegels, which really is kind of misleading. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like as women, we're told to like practice your Kegels, and well, maybe we should talk about what is a Kegel.
Like to your point, for years, like pick up a Cosmopolitan magazine and like
Yes.
flow of urine, like squeeze your vagina really tight, and it was all about like sexual function at that point.
Huh?
You're not really learning like what that impacts in all the other ways that like what our pelvic floor does.
Yeah.
To function through day-to-day life, bowel movements, like holding in urine, all the things that we weren't necessarily thinking about before having babies. And then you have babies and you're like, oh. But like we said, no one was explaining this to me before I had a baby.
Right. Yeah.
So I got pregnant. It was like, okay, you're just gonna push this baby out, but how? What?
With what muscle? What am I supposed to access? But also, you mentioned like, how did you say it? When you contract a muscle, you're actually like weakening that muscle.
Yep.
I feel like it's the same thing when, you know, someone's like, just do a couple of Kegels and you're going to strengthen your pelvic floor. And that's not really the case. So talk about, you had a lovely blueberry imagery example that I would love for you to share with the world.
Start with like a pretty basic explanation of, I say basic because I do it all day long, so it's probably not basic to everyone. We're thinking of like those hammock muscles underneath, right? And they're all woven together, kind of like a basket. So they sort of overlap in different directions. There's 3 layers of muscle, and they're kind of spanning from like your sits bones that are underneath your butt. So if you sat on your butt and you felt around, you would feel 2 bony landmarks. Those are your sits bones. Those are the sides of your pelvic floor. And then like pubic bone to tailbone in the back. So all those muscles underneath, like, I don't know, I was kind of ignoring, not really thinking about pre-baby. And then I had someone try to teach me a breath because I went to PT and she was like, you're never going to be able to push a baby out if you breathe like that. I was like, well, that's encouraging. Thank you. So what am I supposed to do? Like, that's where you tell me what to do. Because I didn't know. But I think we're like, again, dancers, figure skaters, gymnasts, we see it a lot. Gripped and we're squeezed all the time. Unintentionally, we don't think about it.
We're just held.
It just held. So you can either overly weaken the muscle or cause these muscles to like live in a state of spasm all the time and they don't know how to turn off. That's called hypertonic. That means these muscles are like too tight. There's too much tone, there's too much tension, and they just don't know how to like let go.
Right.
So again, a lot of it in here is I'm like, stop, shake.
Yeah.
You can't hold your glutes or you can't hold your pelvic floor. If you shake, like you have to let it go.
Yeah. And you're gonna want to, especially when you're carrying and
we want that full rep. So even with your pelvic floor muscles, we want that full inhale, full exhale. So the muscles need to know how to relax. And then when we teach the exhale, we use the blueberry example because that's usually the most connected way, but there's lots of different ways. So we think that like you're sitting on top of a blueberry, and as you inhale, you're just putting a little bit of pressure down into that blueberry on top of the seat that you're sitting on. And on the exhale with your vagina and rectum, you're thinking of drawing those muscles up and inside your body and picking the blueberry up. So we're thinking inhale, blueberry lowers down. Exhale, blueberry picks up and engages up into your body.
Without crushing the blueberry.
Crushing the blueberry. So we're thinking of on that exhale, on that lift, you're only lifting up with the tension that you can pick it up and not squishing. Everything connects, and we say that this is like, pelvic floor is like Grand Central Station. Right? Everything's all these muscles are kind of like coming together in here. And so if there's something not going on right between like core, pelvic floor, it's stemming to everything else. So that back pain, that hip pain, that calf pain, pelvic floor. Pelvic foot pain.
So interesting. Yeah, I know.
Just kind of stem. And I remember seeing doctor after doctor after doctor postpartum, like, why am I having plantar fasciitis? Why does this happen?
I had that too.
Why is my SI joint? Like, what's happening? And it was a misaligned pelvis and a hypertonic pelvic floor. But it took me
it'll take you seeing all the different specialists, but again, you have to have the wherewithal to like, okay, where am I gaining all these like resources, and how do I advocate for myself and ask these questions? You have to know what to ask. It's so much information. It can feel very overwhelming. So this was very helpful. Thank you, Jamie.
And it takes time. It takes time, but you're putting in the work.
Yes.
You learned, and then you're putting in the work.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna have another baby, and you're gonna be performing and doing all the things again, and it's gonna be
I'll be back in my Laducas in no time.